When the SEALs leave you on a mountain alone to die, you're going to need to learn how to fix your own problems. For the pararescuemen, holy crap, you're actually going to start doing medicine. Communicate, medicate, extricate. Pararescue in 5 simple steps. Shoot, move, communicate, medicate, extricate. Right away, you get to get started with medicine. And your combat controller and TAC-P and SR brothers get to learn that TCCC right next to you. We get to cross-load that life-saving skill of TCCC. You get to see who's good, who's weak, who's doing well, and you all get to learn this together.
One's ready. One's ready. Go!
So you guys are going into Special Warfare Assessment Selection. It is an attributes-based selection model. What does that mean?
Guys, are we running right now to get fitter with practicing running? Practicing.
Right? I can't freaking...
So there's a holistic picture that we're looking for. The instructors are giving you input, and we're expecting an output. And everything is for a reason. If you guys haven't heard my spiel yet, everything that we do, every single exercise, has a connection to the job that you're trying to do. We don't want people at INDOC, Special Warfare Assessment Selection, whatever they're going to call the new course when it inevitably changes somewhere down the road. I don't care what they call it. What I need is you to show me the raw materials for the things that I want to build you into. Just like everything else, it's a crawl, walk, run.
I can run the Keysler just like this. All the way to ATC and never quit. All the way to ATC and never quit.
Hey, everybody. Before we hop into this next episode with neither me nor Trent, it's just Aaron going on an absolute tirade about the Zulu Course.
He's so angry.
He is an angry elf, but he's not really an elf. I don't know if you've seen him recently. Well, you haven't, but like he stopped into the office the other day and he's an absolute like silverback gorilla. It's
terrifying.
It is kind of terrifying. And he's all vascular and shit too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of wild. But you know what he's using? He's using these guys. It's Tasty Gains. He's got the creatine gummies and he's got the nootropics. And there's also the pre-workout gummies. Dude, I took this before sitting down with Dan Holloway on Drinking Bros. And I was just like locked in. It was amazing. And then I think I take 9 grams of these of creatine. I think I'm supposed to be taking 12, but like 12's a lot.
Yeah, especially if you're on the go. And a lot of the stuff that we talk about is like good for traveling and everything else. Even if you already have like a nice creatine monohydrate that's part of your daily schedule at the house, or you know, but if you're traveling or if you're in a hurry someday, you know, one of these days, you can just throw creatine in your bag, take it to work, snack on it during the day, and then the nootropics, you know, pop them in, help you focus. It's good for you anyway.
Yeah, these things are fantastic.
Dude, those creatine gummies are so good.
Yeah, I know they do taste good. The blue raspberry and then there was like a strawberry creamsicle or something like that.
Oh, those ones are dumb.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
So, no promo code, just tastygains.com to go get yourself some. All right, now on to Aaron. You guys should feel terrible about yourselves after this.
Buckle up.
All right, enjoy.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the One's Ready podcast. You know how you know? It's because you saw the alert, because you're subscribed, because you're a good person. You're probably subscribed to the YouTube also if you're a good person. You follow us on the social media. Everything's at One's Ready. You go to onesready.com. You can get yourself a new TAC-P Death on Call shirt. They're super awesome. So you know what this is. You know what we're going to talk about. We don't know what you're going to talk about yet. We're going to talk about the Zulu Course. I've got updates for you. Basically, there's reporting instructions that come out from the Air Force for people that have to report to this school. Usually there is, like the military, they break this thing down Barney style. Well, there are reporting instructions and they tell you exactly what you're going to be doing in the course. I've got it. I've got all the block breakdowns for the Zulu Course. We're going to talk about a couple other wacky issues that are going on. Really, it's just me being super upset about silly stuff. By the way, this is take 4 of me starting this podcast. I told you on the other podcast, I have a very, very young newborn, and my toddler is a feral little animal that I'm trying to civilize and make into a civilized young man. But that makes me really tired, and I basically don't get any sleep, and I stay up really late, and I get up really early, and I still try to go to the gym. So it hasn't been great, but I decided that I'm not starting this one over. So if it sucks, I'd like to apologize, just won't. Let's talk about the Zulu Course. So I can't believe that you cones, you entitled little soft, squishy cone heads. I can't believe you're actually going to make me defend the Air Force Special Warfare Training Wing. Can't believe it. And here we are. Unbelievable. I was joking with Trent and with Peaches. And I said, Uncle Aaron is super mad and he's going to have a come to Jesus talk with some of these cones and some of these little meme pages. I'd like to quote Childish Gambino. I am not Uncle Aaron. I am Air Force Special Warfare's stepfather. You can hate me, but you will respect. So we're going to talk about some of these attitudes that are going on about a course that hasn't started yet down in San Antonio, Texas. So we're going to manage some expectations. We're going to baseline some expectations, and I'm going to try to help you understand that you're all stupid. And we're going to do that here at the end. After we talk about a really weird trend that we were alerted to that I couldn't believe was happening. And then I talked to more people and it was actually happening. And it deals with day one quitters. It deals with people getting there and quitting day one. And the rumor is that it's on purpose. And the even weirder rumor is that recruiters are telling you to do this. So we're just going to get ahead of it. We're just going to make everybody mad. I'm going to yell at the cones. I'm going to make fun of the Air Force Special Warfare Training Wing when they deserve it. And then I'm going to tell some recruiters, don't do this, or I'm going to blow you up. Not really blow you up, but I'll make you uncomfortably famous if I can ever verify it, because I got nothing better to do. Sound fair? Cool. Moving on. So there's reporting instructions to go down to every school, right? So Air Force has a bunch of systems. One of those systems is called ETCA. ETCA is the place where you go, oh, I'm going to jump school. When you get your orders, you can go into ETCA and they will tell you the course requirements, exactly what you're going to do through all the blocks, what gear you will need, where you need to show up, what building you show up to, what things you have to have when you show up. Well, everything that you need to go to that school. Typically it's for cross trainees, or if you're going TDY to go to a school, that's when you use ETCA. We were lucky enough to have one of our listeners copy paste the ETCA and send it to us. So we have the no kidding Air Force verified course breakdown of what the Zulu course is going to be. I'm going to put one disclaimer out there. There's been a million times that I've looked at ETCA and it's been wrong. Sometimes it's got old information. Sometimes the information is outdated. Sometimes it's not accurate. I got it. You're just going to have to believe, I guess, that this is true. There may be some things that don't flow correctly. That could be for two reasons. Number one, because ETCA is an Air Force system and the Air Force is highly inefficient. And the people that write these things have no idea about the course. It's just some personnelist or some DoD contractor in an office that get the information and put it in the system. So they could be wrong just because they don't know. They can just write something incorrectly. Number two is that these things are in flux. The course hasn't started yet. There's a syllabus. There's a little bit of the Air Force Special Warfare Training Wing building this airplane in flight. And that's fair to say. That's not a shot at Air Force Special Warfare Training Wing. It's the first course. You're going to have to run the course and see what works and see what doesn't and adjust, and the logistics play a huge role in this. So the order of the course or some of the things may flow. So let's just assume right now that we're talking in the context of now, the context of right this second. The Dodgers just won the World Series. Ohio State won a football game today. We're going into Sunday tomorrow. The Browns are not going to lose tomorrow. I can tell you 100% because they're on a bye. It's the only time that I'm sure that the Browns wouldn't lose on a Sunday. But the joke in Cleveland is you can bet on the Browns when they have a bye, but you should still take the points because they suck. So I'm going to bring up the ETCA right now, and we're going to talk about the different phases, the different blocks inside of the Zulu course to get you guys the information that we can. I'm going to bring it up and pull it down. So it'll be up on the screen as I talk through each block, and then I'll pull it back down. Let's start with block one. We introduce foundational concepts, including human performance optimization. That's a fancy word for working out. Special warfare communication systems, mission planning procedures, and tactical combat casualty care. So right off the rip, you are starting with the main food groups of what it means to be an Air Force Special Warfare operator. That is fantastic. I can't tell you how happy as an instructor, as a pararescueman, as a team sergeant, as an old guy that's now retired, when I look and see that you're going to get HPO, so you're going to have in-depth, here's how you work out, here's the things that we're going to do, here's how the programming is going to work out. Inside of that HPO, they're going to tell you exactly what physical gates that you're going to need to meet, because you are going to meet those physical gates, the candidate fitness test. Special warfare communication systems, you're telling me TACP and controllers get to put their hands on radios right away? The immediate thing that you got into the Air Force, TACP and CCT, you got into the Air Force to a smaller extent, special reconnaissance, you got into the Air Force to use these systems. You're going to get to put hands on those right away, right out the gate. Make it through assessment selection. And we're putting all the assessment and selection stuff aside. Nothing is finalized there yet. So we'll talk about that when it comes. We're talking about the Zulu course. Get through assessment selection, whatever that looks like, and bam, right away you get a radio in your hand. How in the world you could possibly think that's a bad thing? I don't know. That is amazing. I didn't touch an inter-team radio, an embedder inter-team radio. At the time, I think we were still using 148s. We hadn't even moved to the 152 yet. So I was using a 148. By the way, the 148 Gem, that's the elite. That's an S tier radio. That black brick never failed. It was fantastic. Simple dial, 15 channels, perfect. You had a little wheel that told you every single frequency that was on it. Fire. 148 Gem, fire. 152, trash. Absolute trash. Anyway, you get to put your hands on those radios right away. Right away. You know when you did that when you were a combat control trainee for the very first time? Maybe ATC, but probably CCS, probably the apprentice course. For a pararescueman, PJ trainees, I didn't touch a radio until I got to the schoolhouse. No clue what I was doing. No clue. Couldn't get comms, couldn't figure it out, couldn't figure out how to plug my Peltors in, couldn't figure out why I couldn't talk to people, couldn't figure out why I had a good radio and a good antenna and a good microphone and a good good headset, good Peltors, whatever else we were using at the time. Couldn't figure out why I couldn't talk to a guy right across there. You were going to have world-class instructors, combat controllers, TAC-P, SR, guys that have used these radios in real-world scenarios, giving you expert instruction right away, right out of the gate. That's what you get. There's your little cookie. Mission planning procedures. We're going to teach you how to mission plan, at least at a very low level. We're going to teach you the basics of mission planning. You know when I got mission planning? Not until the apprentice course. And even then it was truncated for the enlisted guys. It was pretty short. It was basically the officers figured out how to do mission planning, and then you sort of did the mission planning as well. And that was it. You're going to get actual mission planning inside of Block 1. Tactical combat casualty care. Combat controllers, you need to pay attention to the tactical combat casualty care, because when the SEALs leave you on a mountain alone to die, you're going to need to learn how to fix your own problems. For the pararescuemen, holy crap, you're actually going to start doing medicine. Shoot, move, communicate, medicate, extricate. Pararescue in 5 simple steps. Shoot, move, communicate, medicate, extricate. Right away, you get started with medicine. And your combat controller and TAC-P and SR brothers get to learn that TCCC right next to you. We get to cross-load that life-saving skill of TCCC. You get to see who's good, who's weak, who's doing well, and you all get to learn this together. One of the benefits that I said from the Zulu course, and again, I can't believe you guys are making me defend the Air Force Special Warfare Training Wing. I seem like the biggest apologist now for the Zulu course because of the current climate in which we live and some of the things that I've seen floating around on the internet. I can't believe that you guys would dare talk crap about the Zulu course not being any good. We're going to talk about it at the end. I almost went into it there because it's really, it makes me actually upset. Not emotional, passionate, upset. Unbelievable. You're going to get to learn TCCC right away. Mission planning right away. You know when the sister services do this stuff? Certainly not 5 weeks into their pipeline. None of them do. None of them. SEALs don't do this. Green Berets don't do this. Shred outs of other Army, Navy, Marine Special Operations units don't do this. Nobody does this. You're going to get it earlier than all of your cohorts. You're going to put your hands on a radio long before anybody else will put their hands on a radio. In Block 1, right away. You get through a little bit of problem on the land, a little bit of problem in the water. You stop with the victimhood mentality and you just get through the assessment selection, and right away you're getting to the meat and potatoes of what you do in the career field. They put it right up front to punch you in the mouth with it. Now, I will say, communication systems aren't easy to learn. 20 days is not a long time to learn human performance optimization, even the basics. Communication systems, even the basics. Even the bare bones of programming a radio and getting to like a comm check for it to work. That's not easy. Mission planning, There are entire mission planning courses that are longer than 20 days. You're going to learn the basics of mission planning inside of this 20 days. And tactical combat casualty care. Obviously, medicine is its own beast. There are hundreds of thousands of hours and words spent on tactical combat casualty care. There are people that make their whole life TCCC as TCCC instructors. You're going to learn all of this at a baseline right away, right out of the gate in phase 1. So let's go to block 2. So as we go to block 2, what are we going to learn? We've got that baseline. This isn't, I missed this from an earlier take that I got mad at myself. The way that these things work inside of the pipeline is that you can't be held accountable for a skill until you learn the skill and you've been evaluated on it. What we're doing here is we're giving you the skills of tactical combat casualty care, mission planning, special warfare communication systems, human performance optimization. We are teaching you those skills and evaluating you on those skills right away, which means in block 2, if you go to treat a patient and you do something crazy that would kill your patient that you weren't taught to do, that you were evaluated previously, and we knew that you could do the skills. If you screw that skill up super bad, or if you do something that would no kidding kill a patient with TCCC, guess what? You fail. I can hold you to account for TCCC. If I hand you a radio, okay, inside of block 1 is when we learn radios. If I just hand you a radio in block 2 and I go, here, you've got 5 minutes to program this freak, which by the way is a million lifetimes to plan a radio freak. If I give you a radio and you just can't figure it out, guess what? You fail. The instructors can fail you for that. They can give you a progress check on a skill that you've already learned because you're supposed to maintain that same level that you were evaluated to from the time that you learn the skill to the time that you graduate. That's how Air Education and Training Command works. I'll give you an example. When we were in paramedic school, they call it MP3 now. When we were in paramedic school, they would give us tactical scenarios. There was always a dirt medicine phase where you would go through dirt medicine. We used to call it sticks and rags, dirt medicine. And they would say, yeah, as a team, here's the scenario you're getting. There would even be like, ground burst simulators going off and people screaming and smoke and fire and flames. And they'd say, hey, here's your rubber nug, your little shape of a gun. I want to have you run over here as a team. And then you have patience and you have to go do this. And there's always a tactical scenario. Every single scenario, whether it's a mass casualty, simple medical scenario, that's a tactical scenario until it isn't. And when you would do those scenarios in paramedic, me as an instructor, I've run those scenarios. You would just have to accept the students look like a bag of hammers. They just look so stupid. They look like they were LARPing. Half of the tactics they got from playing their stupid video games, which they shouldn't be playing anyway. And the other half of the information they got, it was from other cones that were also not taught the correct thing to do. And they just look dumb. You look stupid because you were never taught tactics, but I couldn't hold you to account for those tactics because you were never taught or evaluated on them. Well, what this means now is we go through these blocks. Block 1, there's a whole menu of things that now we're going to evaluate you. And when you're done with block 1, it's not like you don't do those skills anymore. No. You take those skills with you. And if you don't live up to the standards of those skills, you are going to have a very uncomfortable talk with an instructor supervisor about your continuation in the pipeline. I'm a fan of it. If you're a pararescueman, if you say you're going to provide gold standard trauma medicine to larger DoD forces to include tier 1 missions, you better be really good at medicine. Well, you're going to be able to get really good at medicine. If I'm telling you that you are a world-class communicator, whether you're a TAC-P or a CCT, and you can get any radio to get comms to include high frequency, low frequency, any sort of radio. If you can talk on it, combat controllers and TAC-P, you should be able to figure out how to troubleshoot that bad boy, plug a freak, and talk to somebody anywhere around the world. That's the standard. Well, you're going to get that right away. You're going to get that training, that evaluation, and then you should know how to do that for your entire pipeline. So I wanted to provide that context. I think I did. I can't remember if it was this take or another Kate because I'm sleep deprived. But I was joking. TCCC controllers. I know that this isn't your main bag, but why is TCCC important for a combat controller? Well, when the SEALs leave you alone on a mountain to die by yourself, you're going to need to know how to fix yourself and maybe fix a teammate. I hope I made all the SEALs mad. Jake Zwig wouldn't be mad at that. Jake Zwig would laugh at that. I'm going to send it to him. He'd laugh because it's true. And sometimes all you need is tragedy in 1 second of time, and that's comedy. Moving on to block 2. Block 2 focuses on weapons proficiency training for both special warfare pistol and rifle systems. Additionally, vertical operations include tower training and rappelling techniques. Holy crap, you get to shoot right away. Right away. The first time that I shot a weapon after basic training, you have to go qualify. I was a cross trainee. You have to go qualify every once in a while. I was in some whatever shooting group that you have to shoot every 6 months. I ended up getting put in that shooting group because I had the ability to go deploy right away with my own job. So you always had to maintain a shooting qual. However, normal folks in the Air Force, the way the pipeline used to work is you would go to the Air Force basic training. You would have the Air Force basic training shooting days, which were minimal. You got barely any rounds out of a rifle. The CADM instructors, no shot to them, but they're teaching basic trainees. They're more worried about you looking at your friend with a weapon than they are about giving you world-class shooting instruction. That's not saying that our security forces pros, especially the CADM pros, aren't world-class shooting instructors. They sure are. There are some of them that will blow your hair back with how good of shooters they are. I'm saying at that time, at basic training, that is not the time for world-class shooting instruction. Sometimes that's the first time that anybody's ever shot a rifle, and you don't shoot a pistol at the Air Force basic training. Period. Just don't do it. So you're going to get in block 2 immediately. You're going to get your primary and your secondary weapon, meaning your rifle and your pistol. And you're going to shoot to the pararescue standard because that's the going in of the Zulu Course, is that we're going to train to the highest level. PJs in the pipeline at their apprentice course shoot to the highest level. So everybody now, combat control, SR, TAC-P, STO, CRO, SWO, combined career fields, whatever we're calling TAC-PO, everybody inside of the pipeline is now going to shoot to a very high pistol and rifle standard right away. That is fire. Pun intended. Additionally, vertical operations include tower training and rappelling techniques. I don't know when combat controllers got to rappel the first time, but I assume it wasn't until CCS, and I assume it's a very, very low standard that they adhered to. Not anymore. We're going to get on the wall. We're going to do vertical operations right away. If you think about those basic food groups of what we're doing, we're starting to build up very, very quickly to a very high level. And I will tell you, comparatively, across the board, you are doing this compared to sister services, you're doing this way earlier than everybody else. We don't know how long assessment and selection is going to be right now. Anywhere from 4 to 8, 10 weeks. Who knows what it's going to be? It probably won't be longer than 10 weeks. So let's say 10 weeks. No other special operations force is giving you shoot, move, communicate, medicine, mission planning, and rappelling after 10 weeks. Block 1 and block 2 are 40 days. So you're telling me 40 days after you get out of assessment selection, you're doing human performance optimization, communications, mission planning, TCCC, weapons proficiency training on pistol and rifle systems, and vertical operations, including tower training and rappelling techniques. That first 40 days, you just got to make it through assessment selection, whatever that looks like. Crazy good. Block 2. Right out the rip. And you get to do it alongside your other funny hatted brothers in the Air Force Special Warfare training wing and inside of the Air Force Special Warfare training enterprise. It's going to be amazing. And again, I can't believe it. I can't believe you've put me in a position where I am telling you how much the Zulu Course is a benefit. But we're doing that because I'm seeing ridiculous stuff to the contrary. Let's go on to block 3. Block 3 here, as we get into it. Got to bring it up on my screen. Thanks. And block 3, 42 days, emphasizes on advanced tactical skills, including land navigation, close quarters battle. This is the funny thing about ETCA. I told you that like some people that don't understand stuff, put it in there. There's a typo. COB. It's not COB. It'd be CQB because close quarter battle or close quarters combat, CQC as some people call it. Techniques, pyrotechnics and demolitions, subsurface swimming, This block culminates with a 5-day field training exercise, an FTX, and a 7-day culminating exercise, or a COLEX. Let me translate. You're going to be doing advanced tactical skills, including land navigation and close quarter battle. Land nav is no joke. We were doing land nav not until the apprentice course. Nobody was doing land nav until the apprentice course. You do a little bit in SEER. It's not hard. Everybody graduates land navigation in SEER. It's really not that hard. The lengths aren't that far. It doesn't really matter. You get kind of a FAM for it. Great, cool. You're going to do that before SEER. Notice SEER isn't anywhere in here. Before you even go to SEER, you are going to know how to land nav to our standard. Then you're going to learn CQB. CQB is a basic food group. It's one of the most intense and one of the most important skills that you have inside of any small unit. And small unit tactics, the basic food group of any small unit tactics are the battle drills and CQB. CQB is a battle drill until itself. Pyrotechnics and demolition. You are going to blow stuff up. Now, I don't know what this actually means. I don't know if it's going to be a simulated burn, like you're probably doing det or timing cord. I don't know if you're actually going to get to blow stuff up. I think it'd be really cool. It's probably too late for changes considering this thing kicks off in 2 days. But hey, Air Force Special Warfare Training Wing, it'd be really cool if you took them out to a demo range and blew some stuff up, at least as a demo of the demo. That'd be really, really cool. And subsurface swimming. This is at the end of the Zulu course. This is where you start ramping up to go to pre-dive. So when people talk about, oh, well, there's no dive and where are they going to put the pre-dive? Is it going to be next to assessment selection? Is it going to be the end of Zulu? Well, it looks here like it's at the end of Zulu. Subsurface swimming sounds a lot like WaterCon because it is. So you're going to do that subsurface swimming as a ramp up to get ready to go into your pre-dive. There's still a lot of questions out there. You'll notice that I'm not talking about who's going to pre-dive, subsurface swimming, if there's going to be some sort of bridge for combat controllers or even possibly TAC-P to get dive school inside of the pipeline. Who knows? I don't know. We don't know. To be honest with you, it doesn't feel like the Air Force Special Warfare Training Wing knows. It doesn't feel like the Air Force knows. Those are just questions that are up there. We just got to figure it out. A lot of this is going to be building the plane in flight because it's the first course. We've never done it before. We're going to have to run the course, see what works, see what doesn't. And we're going to have to go on from there and make it a better course. The point of this is it's going to be an iterative course. It's a living, breathing thing that we're going to make better every single time. So it's going to be clunky, especially as far as the logistics and course flows and whatever else. Because guess what? It's the instructor's first time too. It's not their first time teaching by any means. It's not their first time seeing the skills by any means. But it's the first time getting 150 to 200 students through this bad boy all at once, trying to figure this thing out. So, of course, it's going to be a little bit clunky. But look at all the stuff you're getting. So we're at 62 days, 20 days, 20 days, 42 days. That's 82 days. Sorry. 82 days of training. That is wild. Shoot, move, communicate, weapons, demolition, mission planning, rappelling, tactical combat casualty care. Everything that we care about that makes you a distinct special warfare operator with skills that you can give to the larger combatant commanders and to the tier 1 missions across the world. Right out the gate. I don't know how people think that this is a bad thing. Maybe it's just because these darn kids are just online too much and they're just black-pilled, and it's way funnier to make fun of something and cry about it as opposed to lean into it and take it for what it is, which is a great thing. Who knows? We're going to end this with a field training exercise and a 7-day culminating exercise. Typically, when they make the differentiation between these two is there is an evaluation attached to one of them, and there is not evaluation or not an evaluation for the entire thing attached to the other. So usually a field training exercise is going to be, if I had to imagine, when I see field training exercise here, hope you're ready not to sleep. Hope you're ready to dig some fighting positions. Hope you're ready to be awake for longer than you want to. Hope you're ready to do all of these skills in austere environments, worst possible conditions on no sleep, no food, no water. You're going to be tired. You're going to be wet. You're going to be cold. You're going to be hungry. And I don't know what this field training exercise has. The field training exercise has its own menu of things that it's going to get after. But as I look, when I see field training exercise, time to get up for it, folks. Hope you're ready. When I see COLEX, a culminating exercise, what that looks like to me is that the instructors are going to bring you together in small teams, and they're going to make you perform all of these skills at once. The old pipeline, good, bad, or indifferent, everything was compartmentalized until the very end, until your apprentice courses. You didn't have to perform all of the skills together ever before you got to the apprentice course. Go back to my paramedic example. I wasn't you expecting to be tactically proficient and to be a good medic when you're inside the paramedic course. When you're inside MP3, the only focus inside of MP3 before Monday morning was just medicine. You could be messed up as a football bat. You could be a soup sandwich full of tactics and do everything wrong tactically, and that does not matter as long as you treated your patient correctly via the algorithm that they used at MP3 via the rubric to check you off. Did you treat the patient correctly? They can't hold you to account for tactics. We talked about this. Well, now it looks like if I had to guess, and again, I don't know what's inside of the COLEX. I don't know what's inside of the FTX. I am guessing here. It's an educated guess. I think inside of that COLEX, that involves evaluation. That involves you putting all of those skills together. Like your fitness better be on point. You know how to use communication systems. You mission plan appropriately. If something happens, you know that you have tactical combat casualty care in your back pocket and you can perform. Everybody can perform to that level. So it's not just PJs doing medicine. Controllers, you could be next to the patient. If you know TCCC, guess what? You're treating that patient. You're going to have long gun and pistol. You're going to know exactly how to manipulate a pistol or a rifle. You're going to understand how it is that you're supposed to move tactically. You're going to have rappelling. Inside of that culmination exercise, you might have to rappel to a patient in a tactical scenario. And if you do any one of those pieces and parts wrong, if you don't live up to the things that we've evaluated you on, it would make sense for me in the COLEX that you could fail, that you would not graduate the Zulu course. That's amazing. Pyrotechnics, demolition, subsurface swimming, an FTX, a COLEX. That's amazing. It blows my hair back, man. When I start thinking about what we went through, and this is no shot to, the instructors or the schoolhouse or the training program or anything. When we went through, we did not get this. You were at INDOC. If you graduated INDOC, if you were there when the smoke cleared, if you did your 13 pull-ups and your 75 sit-ups and your 70 push-ups and your flutter kicks and your water con, if you got all that done and the smoke cleared and you were a grad, you were just skirving around San Antonio, trying not to get put on any details. You were just hitting pipeline schools and you were just waiting to get down to PJU. Some of the schools were fun. Some of the schools were stupid. You'd go to schools and come back. You'd have some shenanigans down at San Antonio. And then you'd go to your apprentice course and you would learn everything that we just talked about inside of all three of these blocks, block 1, block 2, block 3. And you would have to learn all of those at your apprentice course. And because you'd have to be taught those basic skills, the things that you learned at the apprentice course were also inherently very basic. Imagine now that the Zulu course goes off as it's briefed on the slide that I showed you. Imagine that you get all of those skills and then you show up to CCS. You know what the instructors are going to do? They're going to go, well, you guys know what radios are. You guys know what mission planning is. You know how to jump. You know how to shoot. You know how to move. You know how to communicate. You've got some TCCC skills behind you. You know how to rappel. You know how to land nav. Let's step it up. Let's really go hard in the paint. I'm going to give you the hardest mission that you've ever seen because we don't need to spend time on those basics. You've already been taught. You've already been evaluated. You already know these skills. You know that you have to live up to those standards. So if I take you out on a shooting course right now and you don't shoot what you're supposed to shoot here, you're out. You get lost on the land nav course, you're out. You treat a patient incorrectly and you know that you're supposed to treat the patient in a certain way and you didn't, you're out. Let's step it up. And you go to your teams more capable. You've already got an FTX behind you. Field training exercises and culmination exercises, they're no joke. We would lose people at the pararescue schoolhouse just because they couldn't put all these skills together in an FTX. In the individual blocks that we taught at the pararescue schoolhouse, and there were a bunch. There was land navigation, there was weapons and tactics, there was mountain or technical rescue phase, mission planning for the crows, all this other stuff. When we got to the final evaluation phase, of the pararescue schoolhouse, I would frequently see students that couldn't put it all together. They could do individual skills okay. They could jump just fine if they were just jumping. They could shoot just fine if they were just shooting. They could do medicine just fine if they were just doing medicine. But when you ask them to jump in and shoot their way to a target and then provide medicine, they couldn't put it together. It would fall apart. Well, now we're going to figure out who's going to fall apart in that field training exercise and the collex. And we're going to be able to figure out if you can put all these things together. And if you do have those raw materials, it'll let you continue into the pipeline. I like to think about the Zulu course, and I love the Zulu course, but I like to think about assessment selection and the Zulu course. This is what you need to do to ride the ride. This is your ticket to the big game. If you can get through the assessment and selection, you get through assessment, get selected, get to the Zulu course, perform, get through the FTX, get through the collex. Okay, now you've shown me something. Let's get you to dive school. Let's get you to pre-dive and dive school. Let's get you to free fall school. Let's get you to airborne school. Let's get you through the pipeline as fast as you possibly can so we can get you to an apprentice course and get to the point, which is get you to the teams so that you can do advanced training, so that we can provide Air Force special warfare operators to the larger combatant commands, SOCOM, ACC, and the tier 1 units. That's what you're here to do. Assessment selection and the Zulu course together, that's your ticket to ride the ride. It looks fantastic to me. And again, I can't believe, I made this disclaimer. We put a reel out on, and when I say we, I mean Peaches. When Peaches edits the episode, he usually looks for reels that are any good. I said it. Maybe things will change. Maybe this is a huge failure, but we don't know that. What I know right now is that what this looks like is a huge step forward in every single regard. And I'm telling you that as a guy that was an instructor. This is a huge step forward. To baseline everybody, shoot, move, communicate, medicate, extricate, high angle, TCCC, radios, all of this stuff, mission planning, all of this stuff. These are things that you're going to use throughout your entire career. And the fact that we're front loading it is absolutely a great thing. It absolutely is. And again, I'm hearing these words come out of my mouth and I sound like such a homer because you've forced me into this position where I've seen these things going on and I have to sit here and defend it. But it is what it is. And it's true for right now. Could it fail? Yep. Could it crash and burn? Yep. Could it be the worst instruction that anybody's ever gotten? We'll address that here in a second. But from the outside looking in as a guy that's done it, I think this is a huge step forward. If you gave me this opportunity as a 21-year-old dude when I got in, I'd be flabbergasted. I could not believe it. If you took a Vietnam era PJ aside and you showed him what this is and what this is meant to be, regardless of how they felt about NDOC, I think they'd be proud of where their career fields are going. And people deserve kudos for that. The people that designed this course, the instructors that have been killing themselves to make sure that we're ready to go here on November 3rd, Monday morning, they deserve a huge pat on the back. And that's not lip service. This is an insane undertaking to get all of this ready to go on the timeline that they got it on. Now, we can talk all we want about how we feel about the messaging. We can talk all we want about how we feel this came out, whatever, fine. Put all that aside. Quit being emotional. You can be passionate. Don't be emotional. I'm very passionate. I'm rarely emotional. I am a huge advocate of the Zulu course. There you go. I think it's a good thing. Let's talk about something that's not a good thing. So we got a very weird email from a trusted agent. And this trusted agent said that there might be a thing happening, a little bubbling from underneath, we've got spiders everywhere. And he told me of a very weird thing that's going on. There's a large cohort of students that are showing, we talked about 72 failures that went to the biggest cohort of Air Force special warfare shippers that happened just recently. It's these dudes that are getting ready to go, dudes, and I assume dudettes. I don't know the breakdown. But God forbid I get canceled because I didn't say dudettes. Like Pete Hegseth said the boys and the bombers, and somebody had out, well, you didn't say girls. Whoa. No, Aaron didn't say dudes and dudettes. Whoa. Shut up. Cancel somebody else. You can't cancel me because I don't care. these guys and these girls that are getting ready to go into the Zulu Course, they came out of the biggest cohort ever. There was a large contingent of them. Number one, 72 of them failed right away. And number two, there was a large contingent of people that quit day one. Now, here's the interesting thing about this. So those people that quit day one did it intentionally. They weren't stressed. There was no event. They didn't fail anything. They got down there and quit right away. Tens of them. Statistically significant amounts of people. Now, let me tell you a little conspiracy theory that better not be true. And you should tell your friends. Share this episode with them. If you've heard this, or if you've heard anybody talk about this, I want you to share this episode with them so that they hear these words. If you think that you're going to go through the dev program and do just good enough to go through the dev program, to get a contract, to get into the Air Force, to get into Air Force Special Warfare, to quit on day one and get another job, because that's what you always intended to do. You could just ship faster if you went Air Force Special Warfare as opposed to another job path. If you do that, the Air Force is onto you, and that stops now. The trusted agent that we got, serious guy, authority, high enough up of an authority that I know that this is a serious thing. Let's just say that the rumor is that some recruiters are telling Air Force Special Warfare candidates that the fastest way into the Air Force to get a job that they want is to say they want to go Air Force Special Warfare, get in the dev program for the minimum amount of time, do the minimum amount of PT that they need to do, and then they can just get in and quit, and then they can just go get another job, and they'll be able to fill out a dream sheet, and they'll probably get it. No more. That rumor better not be true. Recruiters, you know we love you. You know we do. We talk to you all the time. Don't ever let me hear a recruiter telling somebody that they can just get into Air Force Special Warfare and then just quit day one. Students, if that's a thought in your head, people that are getting ready to get in, if you're in the dev program right now and you think that's going to fly, stops now. They're onto your game. Take this as just good G2 advice from somebody on the inside of it. They're onto your game. If you are going in to quit day one because you think you're going to be able to just chill out, get a government paycheck, not now, the government shut down, get a government paycheck, chill out with your bros, work out, maybe do some details, then get the job of your dreams, and you did it a year faster as opposed to going through the normal process, they're onto you. They got a fix for it. You're not going to like the fix because the fix is going to be needs of the Air Force and no dream sheets. That's what I would do. You know what I would do if I found out you did that? No dream sheet. You get down and you quit. I would put a timeline on it. And this is just me. This is me pontificating. Okay. So let's say hypothetically, Aaron was in charge for a day. You know what I would do if I found out that people were getting in just to quit on day one to go get a different Air Force job? I would write it into the contract that you have to be in the pipeline for a certain amount of time. And if you quit before then, if you self-initiate your elimination SIE before a certain amount of time, no dream sheet, straight to whatever job I want to put you in. Who do we need? Need maintainers? Tight, maintainer. Do we need security forces airmen? Great, go. Services? You want to sit at the gym? You want to be a cook? Okay, go. You came down, you quit. You wasted everybody's time. You took a spot away from somebody that could use that spot, and you took a spot away from the highest demand, lowest density career fields that we have inside of the United States Air Force. Nope. If it was me, I wouldn't just throw the book at you. I'd bury you under the library. You'd get it. And there are some people that are pretty high up in the Air Force that, number one, know the same things that we know. And number two, feel the same way that I do. They just can't say them in open court like this. So we have people that ask us to say some things. So I said the thing. And again, hypothetically, this is just me talking. If the rumor was true, if people are getting into the development program just to quit on day one because they think they're going to be able to just fill out a dream sheet, fill out a list of jobs, and I want to do these 4 or 5 really cool jobs. I've got a great ASVAB, and it was way faster. It was a year and a half if I was going to wait for that other job. But I could get into Air Force Special. I could go into TAG P in, 6 months. I could get there right away. They had a spot for me in 3 months. I was in pretty good shape. I wanted to do this job. So I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to quit day one. I wouldn't. Caveat emptor, buyer beware. You do whatever you want. But I'll tell you, the Air Force is onto it. The recruiting service is onto it. Cat's out of the bag. Go forward at your own risk. And now we're going to get to the last one here. So, cones. Everybody in the development program, everybody that listens to this podcast, everybody down at Joint Base San Antonio over on the Chapman Training MS. Cones. Cones. Why are you so entitled? Why is nothing ever good enough? Why is your first reaction to talk shit about something as opposed to looking at it for its good things and being excited about taking on a new challenge? Why is it that I have to see memes of you bitching about a Zulu course that you haven't started yet with a bunch of instructors you haven't met and you don't know, teaching you skills that you've never done in world-class facilities with world-class contractors that coached in the NFL or were Olympic level swimmers or hold world records for running in ultra marathons or were PJs, combat controllers, TAC-Ps, special warfare officers themselves, friends of mine that killed themselves to make this course for you. Even though sometimes it felt like the command didn't support them, they felt like they were on their own island. And they cared so deeply that they killed themselves for 20-hour days to make this course. Say whatever you want about how we message the course. Say whatever you want about how Air Force Special Warfare may have failed in their messaging PAO about the Zulu course. Say whatever you want. I don't care. There are real people that put real effort into this course to make it the absolute best for you because they love the career field and they want the career field to go far into the future. And I see this meme. Oh, did you, special retard airman? Username checks. From my Aaron Loves America account, I was laughing at this. Trent and Peaches and I immediately laughed at your entitled, soft attitude. Imagine having everything handed to you. Do you understand why the old guys and the operators today call you soft and entitled as a group? One's not ready. Special retard airman, SAW Team 6. Because y'all bitch. Y'all complain about something you haven't even tried yet. Fantastic. I want to be an Air Force special operator. I'll do anything. I'll come back on my shield or with it. Oh, really? But you won't get a haircut in the Zulu course? Really? That's the thing? You got to shave your head in the Zulu course? You'll do anything but cut your hair? You soft ass cupcakes. Unbelievable. The entitlement, the disrespect. Unbelievable. You guys are freaking adorable in your little dorm rooms at 68 degrees in your special beds and things that nobody has ever had in the history of Air Force Special Warfare. I will burn the Air Force Special Warfare Training Wing to the ground when they deserve it. And you have the audacity to disrespect special operators that you say you want to be like, that made this course for you. All you have to do is shut up and show up in the right clothes, and you get world-class training faster than your special operations counterparts, faster than everybody in the Air Force. And I'll bet at the same time, you're going out to the Riverwalk, dorks. Maybe the cool guys are going out to the Pearl. You guys are going to Stay Golden Pony Boy down in the Pearl, telling people, oh, well, yeah, I'm Air Force Special Operations. Meanwhile, you're going back and you're making memes about cutting your hair and getting smoked for dirty boots. Do you understand this is why we don't like you? Do you understand? And by the way, I'm your shield about 90% of the time. I hit a group chat up where I was like, hey guys, I'm going to go, it's a bunch of operators. Hey guys, I'm going to go talk to the students about, what they need to do in order to write themselves. I basically was like, hey, I'm going to go rant at the students because we see these memes and it may be a very small part of the culture, still a part of the culture. You still allow it. I wasn't the only one that saw that meme. Do you understand that this is why vetted operators and people that have gone through it before think you're entitled, think you're whiny little children that aren't ready for the challenge of what we're asking you to do to fight the nation's missions? Do you understand? This is why. I have friends that made that course. Now, were they happy with the way that it went down? Were they happy with the speed of it? Man, that's on them. Of course not. Of course not. Everything could be done better. We could AAR things all day long. It's easy to armchair quarterback. You know what's even easier to do? Retard airman. It's easier to talk shit about something you have no clue about. Fucking zero clue. This is why we say you're entitled. This is why we say you don't deserve it. This is why people say bring Indoc back, because you wouldn't make it. You guys are two steps away from saying that you need stress cards. You guys are one step away from saying, I need to be able to say time out because you were mean. Words are violence. I don't know if I want to be in Air Force Special Operations if everybody's so mean. Why are we mean? Because we all have friends that died doing these jobs. This isn't a game. I had a schoolhouse instructor that was on one of those chats. I was like, hey man, what should I tell these guys? He's like, tell them to stop being pussies. I'm not going to apologize for the language. I tend to agree. Your ability to deal with stress, your ability to deal with change, it's lacking. I don't know what to tell you. It's an objective observation from an outside source with a different set of experience than you have. Tough shit. Should you internalize it? That's a you problem. If anything I said, little cones, little kids at Lackland Air Force Base, kids in the dev program, just waiting to quit on day one. If that's you, if you internalized it and you heard those words and you got pissed off, you don't need to talk to me. You need to get a mirror. Your little temperature controlled bed. Your little perfect eating cycle. Your little Uncrustables that you insist on having and you cry about it, make a fucking meme about it when you don't have, I don't have any Uncrusties. I can hear it now too. Oh, they're just memes. We're just making memes. Now you're fucking bitching. If you did that in front of somebody, if you walked into an office, you would, and by the way, this is the other thing, is you'd never, and let me put this disclaimer out. I don't give a shit. I don't want you, I hope your little meme page blows up. I hope you make your little memes and it's great. Your little fucking cartoons, fine. Go ahead. Don't care. Great. Don't care. I don't want you punished for it. There shouldn't be a witch hunt like they were witch hunting people back in 2018, 2019 in AFSOC. That's a tale for another time. 2020, when they were literally trying to put people into UCMJ trouble for memes. Whatever. I don't think that should be a thing. You should be able to have a social media presence, whatever. Great. But you wouldn't walk into the instructor office and be like, Zulu Course is bullshit. You didn't do that on Friday, did you? No, you didn't. Ooh, I stepped in shit. It's the Zulu Course. Oh, do you mean the course that hundreds of special operators poured their life into for 18 to 20 hour days, only to have you know nothing, do nothing, room temperature, IQ dork say that it's going to be shit because you complain about shaving your head? Okay. So what is it? You'll do anything to be in this, or you'll do anything as long as we give you everything that you want? You little entitled baby. You child. You unserious person. Imagine getting everything that you want handed to you on a platter faster than every single one of your special operations counterparts in every single service. Every single one. Nobody else gets this suite of training at 82 days into their experience. Ridiculous. And you're bitching about it. Clip that for your little team video. Guys that aren't going to graduate, put that on your next little YouTube video. You've done nothing. Make a meme about that. Tell me how you graduated high school. You did 45 push-ups and 8 pull-ups, told everybody you're going to be this badass, and now you skulk around Joint Base San Antonio Chapman Training Annex talking shit via cartoon about a process you have no idea that other people would literally kill for. Meme that one. I don't give a shit. I'm just telling you why people my age, people that are in right now, senior leaders, I'm telling you now why they think you're a lesser class of candidate. And by the way, for 5 years, we've told them that they're wrong. Peaches, Trent, and I have told them that they're wrong. You can find hundreds of hours of our content talking about how we think that you have the potential in your generation to take these career fields to heights that have never been seen before. And then I have to see bullshit like this. You know who would have killed for that training? Jason Cunningham. Kerry Miller didn't have that training. Kerry Miller didn't have a sleep-controlled bed when he responded to the Anaconda fucking scenario with Neil Roberts and Jason Cunningham, where he almost died even infilling onto the mountain and recovered those folks. Tim Wilkinson didn't have this training when he went into Operation Gothic Serpent. And you have the audacity, the absolute audacity, the Lion, the Witch, and the audacity, you motherfuckers, to talk crap about a course that hasn't started yet, that you have no idea what's going on. Hilarious. I hope you hear these words and I hope you understand that that's where the anger comes from. When we see these things, we get hundreds of DMs a week. I'll do anything to get into Air Force Special Warfare. Those are the same people that talk about, I don't want to shave my head. This is dumb. Zulu Course is shit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But it is what it is. 91% of you will fail. Retard airmen, have a good run in your little meme page. We'll all be watching. I'm sure I'll laugh at it. I find it hilarious. Because you are the reason why guys like me, guys our age, guys that have went before you, we're the reason why we think your generation's soft. We're the reason why we think you're not going to be able to rise to hard times. You should be lucky. Yeah, none of you should say bring InDoc back. I saw a meme that was like, oh, you know how InDoc looks when the new ANS starts. You wouldn't make it through InDoc. You wouldn't make it through Dev Team. You'd be gone. Dev Team would smoke you. There were no NFL coaches. There were no Olympic swimmers. There were no dietitians. We saw a dietitian like twice. We saw a psychologist once a week, and the instructors called us soft for having a psychologist come in. No kidding. And at any time, you can just decide, oh, my shoulder hurts. And you have 5 people that will come over and tape your shoulder and ice it down and feed you an Uncrustable while you cry and you make your little meme and you look at your little Instagram page. That's why I would think you're soft. Maybe it's because you're soft. Maybe you should consider that. Maybe you should consider the fact that you couldn't carry the water for the GWAT generation. You should really internalize that. You should really think about it. You should really think about what you're doing today to make your organization better. You should really think about what you're doing today to make your team better. What are you doing to make yourself better? When the flag does go up and you really have to do hard things, what are you going to do? You going to make a little cartoon about it? You think that's what the professionals do? You think that's what the guys at the tier 1 units do? When there's a change to their selection process? You think they cry about it? You think they say it's not fair? You think they play the victim? I can tell you they don't. Because I actually know them. And I know what they do. And they're professionals. And everybody that's earned a beret has had to pay a price for that beret. But instead, we have memes, because that's how we communicate now. I hope the standards aren't lowered. I said that about the Zulu Course at the beginning. I hope they aren't lowered. I hope they stay exactly the same, because the attrition rate's going to stay the exact same. And the people that do this stuff aren't going to make it. If you can't handle a simple pipeline change, if you can't handle a haircut, if you can't handle a new course, if you can't handle new standards earlier in the pipeline, if you can't handle higher standards, immutable standards, standards that we won't let slip, we don't want you. Just quit. How about this? How about you show up when you show up? How about you actually come prepared to go to assessment selection, ready to do whatever it takes? How about you don't start a little meme page? How about you delete your Instagram? How about that? So you're not spending time looking at your stupid phone. Delete your TikTok account. If you have one, dorks. TikTok. How about you do anything that it would actually take? How about you show these instructors that you're ready to go to the teams where their friends are the team sergeant? How about instead of when I talk to schoolhouse instructors that say you're all soft and I tell them they're wrong, I'm like, no, I talked to a bunch of these guys. They seem like they have their heads on straight. And they go, Aaron, I watch them perform. They're soft. I'm not saying that I'm not being an old guy. I'm saying they don't meet the standards. I'm saying we're in danger of having to lower the standards, not because we need to get more people in, because the people that we're bringing in can't meet the standard. How about that? How about people we're bringing in quit on day one because they want a different job and they lied and they took a spot away from somebody that really wanted it? How about we might have to lower standards in the future because you're all are too weak. Your little brittle bones can't take it. Your low testosterone can't take it. And again, if you internalize any of this, if you're like, this guy's wrong, great. Don't care. Get a mirror. I don't care. Because you need to hear it. Nobody else will tell you. I'm here to do it. Peaches is too nice. Trent is essentially a robot that doesn't have human emotions. It's what it is. I'll be the guy. I'll say the uncomfortable thing. Because I'm not saying it. I'm the mouthpiece for tens of other operators, more than 10 of other operators at every single schoolhouse, in every single career field. If somebody calls you a horse once, you can punch them in the nose. If somebody calls you a horse twice, maybe you start go looking for a saddle. So if somebody says that you're entitled and you're soft and you're not as resilient, you're not as fit, you're not as strong, maybe the first time you hear that, you can be like, oh, well, these old guys don't know what they're talking about. Okay. Well, we've been hearing it for 5 years. So what am I supposed to do with that? How are we supposed to help you out? We got people that show up on day one and quit. The people that do stay bitch about everything. Okay. You've done nothing. And you're talking shit about operators. Because when you talk shit about the Zulu Course, you're talking shit about the people that actually wrote the Zulu Course. People that have been in the Air Force for 20 years that have more deployments than you went through grades in school. Those are the people that you're talking about. Your instructors. Retard airmen. Those are your instructors that you just said are shit. Those are my friends, man. Memes are memes. I get it. Passionate, not emotional. You're not going to talk shit about my friends. Those guys kill themselves for you. Some of them didn't even want the instructor job. They never wanted to leave team. They were basically told to go be an instructor. And you would never know that because they fucking kill themselves every single day for you. They show up 2 hours before you. They stay 2 hours later than you, and they actually care about you. When they go home, they actually think about you later at night because they want you to succeed. There are instructors down there that go home and they take time out of their family's night to go, this guy just won't get it. I don't understand. I want him to get it. I tried to explain it to him. I tried to explain it to him 3 different ways. You know why? Because I've had those conversations. As an instructor, I've went home and I've taken time out of my family's life to talk about you because I care about you and I want you to succeed. And the answer is, let's make a meme and say that they're shit. And you wonder why we say you're entitled. And you wonder why we say you're soft. And you wonder why some of the older dudes long for a time for the NDoc model, because that NDoc model was objective and it was a punch in the mouth. That's why they long for that model. That's why when they look at an attributes-based selection system, which have many benefits, whatever, when they look at it, they go, well, yeah, but it gives all this wiggle room for all this bullshit. They're not wrong. Especially when you behave like this. Especially when you give them every reason to believe it. So make your little cartoons. Have your fun. I'll laugh at it. I think it's hilarious. Personally, because I don't care. I'm, again, passionate, not emotional. It doesn't hurt my feelings. You can talk whatever shit you want. But also you did in public, so I'll talk about it in public. How about this? How about we get to where we have a cohort where no one fails the IFT, and then we have a cohort where no one fails the CFT? How many CFT failures we got? Willing to do anything. I'll kill myself. Except pass a CFT, apparently. The CFT is a warm-up. I don't know what you guys are like. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. CFT failures. Talking crap in the dorms. Talking about the Zulu Course's shit. Hundreds of man hours, millions of dollars to get you everything that you've ever dreamed of. You're getting more training in the Zulu Course than pretty much every single African military partner that we have. The entire time. And you guys are getting it in the first 82 days of your career. And you're complaining about it. Okay, cool. Well, if there are serious people out there, you hit us up. I'll holler at you. I'll help you out. Peaches, Trent, and I will help you out. You come to the OTS, you tell us, you show us something. We love having the OTS. You know why? Because we don't see that. We see people at the OTS that actually care. We see people at these OTSs that want to absolutely destroy themselves to get into these career fields because they want to do the job. They want to be first there that others may live. Provide death on call. But it is what it is. I hope you understand why we say you're soft and you're entitled and you're little brats. This is why. And that's as nice as I could possibly be. I couldn't even read you half of the comments from the group chat. Couldn't read them. Not only because I get demonetized, but you guys would be so poo-poo. I'd need a bucket for all your little tears. Zulu Course is stupid. Haircuts are dumb. I don't want to wear these clothes. Yeah, real tough. Future of the Air Force. Good job, guys. Good luck. Good luck. Get it together, cones. Get it together. And for all those cones, when you hear this and you're like, well, that's not me. Great. Go hold your cones accountable. Find a friend. Lead them. Help them. Help them understand. Change the culture. You guys have gotten way too used to being able to talk shit anonymously about stuff you have no understanding of. And I hope there's memes about this. Send me your memes from clips from this episode. I'll repost them from my page and from One's Ready. Go ahead. I don't care. I give it to the command. You guys know that we give it to the command worse than we give it to you guys. We hold those guys to a high standard. We've had some very uncomfortable phone calls with our friends about some stuff that we said about a whole bunch of people inside of this training organization because we feel like we call people out when they deserve it. Cones, it's your chance. It's your turn. You deserve it. This is bullshit. Quit it. Get serious. Feels like a good place to end up. Zulu Course is going to be good. I disagree with you, retard airman. I think it's going to be a good thing. We'll see. Could be wrong. I'm sure in your infinite wisdom of almost 3 months in the Air Force, you're probably right. Your little meme's probably correct. Guess we'll have to see, though. Let me know when you get your beret. Okay. Have a good one. Good talk. Out here.